guys, it's Izzy here, and today we are going to be doing the Give a book tag. So if you don't know what that is, basically I have some prompts and I'm going to tell you books that you should read if you are interested in one of these prompts. Let's get into it. This tag was originally created by Catherine Sofria, so I will leave a link to that person's channel down below in the comments, and I found this tag through the channel Bookables. So our first prompt is, give a book to make someone smile. The book I have chosen for this is the first book in a series. I finished up the series last month in April, but the first book is Check Please Book 1 #hockey. This is a hockey romance coming of age story, and it is a graphic novel, and it is just so wholesome. So I think obviously if something is wholesome, hopefully you smile. If you don't, you're probably a psychopath. But it is just so warm of somebody coming to terms with who they are and getting into new hobbies while keeping old hobbies. And I just feel like it's the perfect book for that age, because that is when you are your college age. You're kind of leaving home for the first time, you're meeting new people, doing new things, and that really shapes you as a person. And this book just shows the support that the main character Biddy has, and that is just so nice, and it put a smile on my face. The second prompt is, give a book you don't talk a lot about. We're going to go with a 3-star book, and that was One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searles. So it was classified as a romance, but I would say it's more contemporary magical realism than romance. And this is a book that I heard a lot of bad things before going into, so I didn't have great expectations going into it. But when I was reading it, I was like, this is not so bad. I was like, where are people getting this idea from that this is some weird incestuous book? I don't think it's like that. I mean, there are some weird lines, but I think it's people's dirty minds warped the book into something that it wasn't. And this is a book that I still think about quite a bit. It's been 2 or 3 months since I read it, and I'm still thinking about it, but I never really talk about it. So I am going to recommend One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searles. The third one is, give a book you can't stop talking about. I've been talking about this book since I've had this channel, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It just got a TV adaptation, which I love the adaptation, but it's not a new favorite. And yeah, I talk about it quite a bit, so like, what else can I say? This is about a fictional band in the 1970s and the way they formed and the way they broke up. Give a book people are going to either love or hate. So I'm going with When I Sing Mountains Dance by Irene Sola. This is a translated work. It is historical fiction, magical realism. It's a lot is genre bending, and it's kind of hard to tell you what this book is about, but overall I think it is a love story to the Pyrenees Mountains, and it was just so beautifully written. But I think some people would hate the writing style. It's very, I don't even know if I should say if it's character or plot driven. It's just so different and so unique. And usually when things are unique, some people are going to hate it and some people are going to love it. Give a book for someone who needs to get in their feels. So I'm going with Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. This was a 5-star for me. It takes place in 1950s America. That's really when it starts out. And it is about a family in a rural area. They are mixed race of Native American and white, so they come across a lot of racism, and then within the family, a lot of abuse and trauma. I know the word trauma gets overused quite a bit, but I would say definitely this is trauma in this book of what these characters go through. And this book just had me filled. Like, I was filled with emotions, but then empty at the same time, because I was like, oh my gosh, how do I move on from this? Such a great, powerful book. Highly recommend. Give a book with immaculate vibes. So I went with Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This was the last 5-star book that I read in 2022, and I loved it. It was just so nostalgic, and it is about these 2 friends who meet when they're children under kind of strange circumstances. I don't know anybody who's met friends the way they did. and they lose touch, and then they come in touch again, and they start developing video games together, and it just goes through their life stories. And I love slice of life like that. And then as a gamer, I really liked it. And then, as I said, it just was so nostalgia for that 90s 2000s gaming era, because I think that's when a lot of us if you're my age got into playing video games as a kid, and it just brought me back to those early video game days. Give a book for someone who likes to be surprised. So I'm going with No Exit by Taylor Adams. I am somebody who thrillers do not always work out for me, but this one did. So it was very surprising. I did not predict anything. It was, so I feel like that is so important with thrillers, to be surprising. So this is set on like Christmas Eve in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. So, you know, very rugged atmosphere, snow, cold, wind, blizzard conditions. And these people have to get off the interstate and go to a rest area. They all get locked in this rest area together, and it's going to be hours until the roads are cleared, and somebody there might have kidnapped a kid, and people might start dying. So give a book for someone who needs a little love. So I'm going with Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is a romance, and honestly, it was my dream romance. It made me have hope that there is love out there, that great romances can happen. This is about Chloe Brown, who suffers from chronic illness, and she wants to get out of this rut that it put her in mentally. And so she has a list of things that she wants to do, and one of them is fall in love, and she might just do that. So give a book that's an old favorite. So I'm going with one of my favorite books from childhood. It's probably up there behind y'all, so, you know, turn around, look at it. And that is The Teddy Bear's Picnic by Jimmy Kennedy, with illustrations by Alexandra Day. I just really remember looking at this book a lot when I was a kid, and I probably should take it down out of storage, but I am going to need some help because I am really short. But I did love that book a lot when I was a kid. Give a book that you think everyone should read. Without a doubt is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, especially with what's going on in America today, of books being banned and all that kind of thing. It honestly scares me thinking about. So this is set during World War II in Germany, and at the time I read this book, book bans weren't as prominent as they are right now. So that part didn't really stand out as much to me. It was more so that we are reading about a book of people in Germany who are the bad guys in World War II, and they're constantly getting bombed by allies, the United States, Britain, France, whoever. And so they're constantly getting bombed, normal civilians getting bombed. And I'm like, I don't think that's right. It said how many people died in Hamburg, and I was like, I don't think that's right. I don't think random civilians should be getting bombed houses and all of that. So it really made me rethink war and think of war in general as, we can't hate the, like, okay, we'll use Russia as an example. The common Russian man did nothing to me. No, those normal people, everyday civilians in Russia, they've done nothing to me. I do not think they need to be nuked. Now, do I think they need to be killing random people? No. So I do think you can't blame people on the bottom, the normal civilians. You can blame the people on top, though, people in charge, world leaders. You can blame them, but don't hate the people on the bottom. But then, now with books being banned, it terrifies me, because I'm looking at all these books down here and I'm like, Ron DeSantis would love to burn them. And I'm like, yeah. And a lot of states, these books cannot be in school libraries and all of that. So send your kids to private schools if you don't want them reading certain books, but we're not going to get into a political thing. But that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know at the end I kind of went on a spiral, but if you made it through this whole video, leave a book emoji in the comments below. But I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!